Hi, I'm Devin and welcome to Devin Tries. On today's episode, I'm going to try to make a Mai Tai with homemade orgeat syrup. A Mai Tai is a delicious tropical rum drink that was created by Trader Vic's down in Oakland, California. R.I.P. Raiders. They still exist as a football team, but you know, Oakland Raiders, that's what it was all about. That's when I became a fan. Come on, Dev, it's not about my fandom for the Raiders. This is about making a Mai Tai. So the elephant in the room is you are gonna wanna pronounce it orgeat, and hey, listen, I feel for you. I would wanna pronounce it that way too, but it is orgeat. You can add a little T on the end, orgeat. I'm making this recipe because I've never made an orgeat before and I'm really excited to try it out. Essentially an almond nut-based syrup that goes into a whole bunch of tiki drinks and tropical drinks. So once I have an orgeat, I'm gonna make a whole bunch of them, but I'm excited to try the classic first from Trader Vic's in Oakland, California, the Mai Tai. So a Mai Tai has white rum, it has a dark rum float, it has an orange liqueur of some sort. Most people use an orange curacao. This is Cointreau, and then this is triple sec. Look, they look like they're in the exact same bottle, only Cointreau is more expensive, so I guess get the triple sec. Honestly, I don't know if there's any difference between the two. There probably is a slight difference. Why don't I just try it? I'll figure out what the difference is right now. Let's do it. So first of all, we have Cointreau, and this is a product of France. That's France for those who can't speak French. And then we have triple sec. This is a product of Canada, and this is what most people use in their margaritas. First, the Cointreau. Oh yeah, that's booze. Whew, almost forgot I was drinking booze there. Yeah, I mean, it's really orangey. It actually has like a really nice orange rind kind of flavor. It's very deep and rich, and the sweetness comes on after. So let's try the triple sec and see if there's any difference. Wow. Okay, so there is a big difference here. Who would have thought? Triple sec is a lot harsher. It sort of hits you with that heat that you would get from a liquor, versus the Cointreau is a lot more smooth. So there you go. It's a few dollars difference. Support Canada. I think Cointreau is the better tasting of the orange liqueurs. So before we can make our Mai Tai, obviously we have to make our orgeat syrup. So let's go do that right now. Start by lining your pan with some parchment paper. If it doesn't fit in there well, I like to scrunch it up like this, spread it back out, and then it seems to fit in there really nicely. There's a hot tip for you. Then you're gonna spread a cup of almonds all over this pan. I like to touch every almond with a soft hand. So I'm getting both hands in there and just making sure they're all nice and spread out, especially these ones. Into the oven they go at 400 degrees and out they come 4 minutes later, all roasty toasty. Look at that shake. Into the food processor they go. This food processor, the Cuisinart, this thing's got more torque than a steam engine. I absolutely love this unit. What is this, from the 80s? Anyway, get it to a nice coarse texture. You don't want it to be sand, and then put it in a bowl and put a cup and a half of water on top of that. So it's gonna soak for a while, and you know, make sure you spill a bunch of water on the counter too, because for some reason you can't pour out of that liquid measuring cup. Give it a stir, make sure everything's soaked in, and it's time to plug Timex. Timex, you gotta get one. They're trusty, like a Cuisinart. Now it's time to strain all that delicious liquid gold off of these nuts. So put it into some cheesecloth. Cheesecloth, of course, not just for cheese, also for anything you want to strain. So bundle it all up like a nice satchel, and you're gonna give your nutsack a good strong squeeze. You're gonna squeeze so hard that it's gonna guarantee you'll never have children. So once you've given that a bunch of really good squeezes, you can check out what's left. It should be dried nuts like so. And you're gonna end up with about a cup of liquid. So you're gonna match that cup of liquid with a cup of sugar and whisk that all together on heat until it is nicely dissolved. In goes a 1/4 teaspoon of citric acid, a 1/2 teaspoon of orange flower water. I found that at Superstore. It was the only place I could find it in Vancouver. And of course, a couple tablespoons of brandy. You can also use vodka. This is optional, but it is going in a cocktail, so, you know, why be scared of a bit more alcohol? Give that a nice stir to incorporate everything, and some people will strain it again at this point. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna give it a nice little slurp though. Taste test. Yeah, it tastes delicious. It's so sweet and creamy and Into the bottle it goes. I'm using the same liquid measuring cup that absolutely betrayed me before, spilling everywhere. There must be a trick to that. And I'm putting it in a funnel. Here, the funnel just filled and it didn't go down through the bottom. Science is strange, but I realized if you added a bit of air at the bottom, look at that, went right back down. So make sure your funnel isn't sealed to the bottle. And that's orgeat syrup. There we have it, our fresh made orgeat syrup. It's nice and creamy and sweet and delicious. Some people like to clarify this, so they'll run it through cheesecloth another time or maybe a few more times and kind of create a clear orgeat. I actually don't mind it a little cloudy like this. You get those micro nut particles in there. I think it just adds like a nice contrast, especially when you get the dark rum float on top. So there you go, orgeat syrup, all prepared. Next up, let's talk lime juice. I know I'm gonna lose some viewership right at this exact moment, but hey, I just wanna say if anyone's out there and they're trying to get into cocktails, they're interested, but you know, it is a lot of work. You don't need to juice your limes. You don't need to juice fresh lemons. You can buy 100% lime and lemon juice, and honestly, I believe it tastes pretty darn similar. So if you want to get into cocktails, explore a little bit, you don't want to just constantly be pressing fresh fruit, which is expensive these days, as well as just being time consuming, you can just buy one of these. Trust me, it's gonna make your life so much easier. The same goes for egg whites, but that's for another video. So that's what I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use this lime juice right out of a bottle. Another thing I wanted to mention if you're out there and you're a beginner and you want to get into cocktails is your jigger. So this is the first one I used, and I used to be a bartender, so I felt comfortable with this one. But this is basically a 2 ounce and a 1 ounce. You can buy variations of this one so you have all the different sizes, but what I would do is just sort of eyeball what I believe to be half an ounce or 1 ounce on either side. The thing is, these are tapered, so it's not like a perfect halfway mark, so you do have to kind of go farther up than you would expect. And this can be really confusing. It can be really hard to have just like sort of a quality control on what you're putting into your drink when you use just one of these. So for that reason, I would recommend getting something like this. This is a graduated jigger. It's got markings on the side as well as lines on the inside of the jigger. And this is gonna make it a lot easier to get your measurements exactly right. And honestly, cocktails, they are a chemistry, they are a science. So pick yourself up one of these to start with. Don't futz around with the ones that don't have markings, the cheaper ones. Just do yourself a favor, get this under control, and your cocktails are gonna taste really delicious. Okay, now that we've talked about jiggers, let's put it together. First thing we need is our rum. So classically, especially at Trader Vic's and these other bartenders who are doing really exceptional work, they're gonna use blends of rums. They're gonna put different rums together, etc. Again, I'm just trying to do the basic here, the thing that I think that you can do, and I don't want to overcomplicate things. So I've just got a Bacardi white rum here, so that's gonna be our base. 1.5 ounces of any white rum will do. The rest of this recipe is easy. It's just 1/2 ounce of each of the other ingredients, and then you're gonna do a 0.75 ounce dark rum float on top at the end, after you shake it up. Oh. Also shake up your orgeat syrup because it will tend to separate. Unless you want that really clarified look, then you could actually let it fully separate and just pull out that clear liquid, but I want it to be nice and cloudy. That's the way I like it. I like the look of it. So give it a nice shake. So now that that's all there, we gotta fill this up with ice. We're gonna give it a good old shake before pouring it into our rocks glass. That's my workout for the day. Here's your rocks glass. Get a big old cube, put it in there. If you're fancy, give it a little swirl with your finger. Listen, I'm the one drinking this. Don't worry about it. Then you're gonna strain your Mai Tai into your rocks glass. So I like that cloudiness. I think that looks really beautiful. And now we're gonna do our dark rum float on top. So for the dark rum float, you're gonna want 3/4 of an ounce of dark rum, and you're gonna wanna use a spoon so that you can pour it slowly so it doesn't just all mix in with the rest of the ingredients. Finally, take a skewer, take a maraschino cherry. That's how I like to garnish them. There you have it, that's a Mai Tai with a homemade orgeat syrup. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna stir it all up and give it a sip. Oh, it's so good. It is very rum forward, so you really do get a hit of rum, but that mix of the dark rum and the white rum is really quite pleasant and sweet and vanilla-y. And then the orgeat just has this nice sweetness. You do get that nuttiness. It's almost like you know, it'd be like a marzipan, or even it's evocative of some sort of like childhood candy, but it's very smooth sweetness with the orgeat syrup. So there you go. I thought I might make a different video after this, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to. If you've enjoyed watching this video, please like and subscribe. Honestly, it makes so much of a difference to me. It does really, really help. I hate to beg, but you only gotta get to 1,000 and then you're in the clear. I won't ask again. I don't care after that. You know what I mean? I don't care after that. If you have something that you want me to make, then write it down in the comments below and tell me why you think I should make it. This can go for recipes, it can go for cocktails, it can go for anything. So start expanding your ideas of what you would like to see me try next. My social media, @DRG Mackenzie on Instagram. That's all. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye.